Okay, these are the petals off the nopal cactus, and they look a little bit dangerous because they are dangerous. That's why they put these tongs here so that you can pick them up. But I'm gonna encourage you not to walk past these beautiful nopal cactus petals. Number one, because they have a really wonderful, almost lemony-like taste to them. They've got a beautiful, almost crunchy texture. And from a nutritional standpoint, they really do help you to slow down the metabolism of carbohydrates. So they're really great to use like that. Now, I'm gonna show you how to clean them all, but in a lot of Mexican grocery stores, you will find them already cleaned and cut up into pieces like that. Okay, or in some places you will find them just cleaned and in the full paddle. This is the one that I would suggest that you get, and then you can eliminate all of the cleaning that you would normally be doing that I'm going to show you how to do in just a second. Always be sure to hold the cactus paddle with a pair of tongs, and my first step is to go all the way around the outside, cutting off about 1/4 of an inch or so of the exterior of it. And that's just because the little thorns that are on the outside are really hard to get off. And then I like to kind of go against the grain here. You'll see that when I say against the grain, that all of these little thorns are sort of going in one direction, and I'm using my knife held perpendicular to the cactus paddle to scrape them all off. Now it's sticky stuff, so I'm going to use the side of my board here to make sure that I'm not trailing them back on here. Once you've done one side, like I'm about finished with now, and you want to be careful with all this. You don't want any of those little thorns to be left in here. Then you do the other side of it here. Okay, it looks pretty clean to me, and I'm going to cut it into strips, so I'm going to cut it in half lengthwise. Make sure that I don't have any of the thorns still stuck on my board there, and with about 1/2 inch slices, 1/4 inch slices I meant to say, I'm going to reduce this to a kind of sticky looking heap of those slices. Now I have bought some of these guys that were already cleaned, so you can compare my cleaning job to theirs. I think it looks sort of the same. I want to get a few more of these to cook with you, and I'm going to show you a very specific style of cooking. This is in Mexico called cooking al vapor. Now that would normally translate as steaming, but we're just going to let them cook in their own steam, their own juices. And it's a very specific style. A lot of you probably hear that boiling is the right way to go with these things, but this is really my very favorite way to do it. And it is a traditional style in certain parts of Mexico. So I've got my pan here over medium heat, and I'm going to scoop in the nopal cactus strips. I'm going to give a good douse of oil. I'm using olive oil, but you could use vegetable oil for this. These are not exact proportions, just enough so that this starts cooking in it. Nice sprinkling of salt over the top to season them as they're cooking. And then most people in Mexico like to do this with a slice or two of onion. So I'm going to cut that one off there, and then break up this onion slice. And we're going to now cover it. And we're going to cook it for 5 minutes. During this time, all of that sticky substance, what's called the baba in Mexican Spanish, will exude out of the nopal cactus. And what we are going to do is to uncover it and just let it evaporate. That's the second part of the cooking. It's been about 5 minutes now, so I'm going to uncover it. One of the things that you'll notice, come in here really close and you can see that all of that mucilaginous substance, the baba, it's already starting to evaporate, but you still see some of the gummy substance there. Well, we want to evaporate all of that, and that's what I like about this style of cooking the nopales. So another 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe for all of that to evaporate, and then we're ready to use nopales in whatever kind of dishes we want to use them in. So this is what they'll look like when they're ready. No signs of any liquid, just a little bit of oiliness from the oil that we added to it. Turn off the fire, and then what would you use these in? Well, simplest things that you could do is just add them to a tossed salad as one of the other ingredients once they've cooled off. I like to sprinkle them with just a little bit of vinegar before I do that. Or you could chop this up and you could add it to a pico de gallo. That's really delicious. Again, vinegar on these things, they're a nice little accompaniment the next time that you're making tacos at home. That's a very traditional thing to do in Mexico. But I'll tell you what my favorite thing is the pork stew made with pork shoulder that you do in tomatillo sauce. Probably a lot of you have had that or made it because it is a very classic dish. Toward the end, you add these nopales to that mixture, maybe some potatoes, and it is one of the greatest dishes in the entire world. So explore a little bit with these nopales.